are going to act given a certain circumstances.
Good morning. Good
Human
morning.
beings on the surface.
2:54 a.m. on a Friday. That is the perfect way to start a day, is to be up and out the house before your average time to get it started. I wrote a note to my family just now, and I said today and every day you have an option to get up, and you have an option to have the perfect day. I think for me, understanding exactly what my perfect day consists of at 1:45 in the morning, when I initially open my eyes up and I thank God I'm still alive. Not saying that being dead's an issue, but thank God I'm alive because I have another opportunity to go after it. But with that said, I don't know that you can actually put it into words what a perfect day is. I was listening to a book this morning, and they made a clear distinguishment between somebody who is trying to logically think their way through something, and follow me on this, logically trying to think their way through something versus the person who reacts on what they feel. And I'm not talking about, hey, you're a woman and you think your husband's cheating on you. I'm talking about, hey, a client just came to your mind, pick up the phone and give them a call, because ultimately that is a sign that maybe some communication should take place, because either that person's thinking about you or there's something that needs to be said that maybe neither one of you have thought about. In your conscious, your mind, your instincts are talking to you and they're guiding you and directing you, versus the person that says, I'm going to have a perfect day, and because I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I don't know that it works that way, because at that point, when you're trying to logically think something into fruition, then I think the emotions start to become a little bit more of a play versus listening to the feeling and letting that guide you into it. So I wrote them a note and I said, listen, I said, you have the option, you have the choice to design the perfect day. But that choice and that option isn't always going to be what's logical. Well, I'm going to go here and I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. Because I think there's too much room for the emotion to throw that off whack, and there goes your perfect day, versus not trying to logically or methodically think out the perfect day, but giving yourself some time and some space in the morning to let your emotions, let your feelings, let your spirit guide you in the direction that you're supposed to go into. I've been implementing this exact practice for some time now and have noticed that it has increased the way that I'm able to have an outcome on a day dramatically, versus being methodical. I think they just did a podcast about time blocking. That's a methodical thing. You're trying to create something that's not there. You're trying to say, I'm going to make this work in this way, form, and fashion, and it always seems to conflict with the emotional side of things, versus saying, I'm not going to plan out my day, I'm just going to plan to have a great day. And then I'm going to let my spirit guide me in the direction of what that great day may be. Because what it may be to my spirit may not be the same thing it is to me logically. And then at the end of the day, you can compare and contrast how that works out. But a lot of that has to do with being directly in touch with who you are. Right? Understanding who you are, understanding what you are, right? I was in the shower just now and I was sitting there and I swear I must have blacked out for about 10 seconds because I was in all these thoughts of, like, I had this daily planner in my head. I was like, okay, I got this appointment. I got to be here. I got to put the signs out. I got to pick those up. I got to make sure the open house is set up. I got to make sure I call this person. Got to make sure this closing. And I was sitting there going through that methodically, and I had to stop myself and say, hold on. One is hire somebody to do that. The second thing was, you have a very expensive phone. Teach it how to keep track of everything and let it be that. But don't be so methodical. Don't get so caught up here. Well, right here, it talks to you all day long. And you won't listen. It's got the answer to all your problems. But you won't listen. So I wrote him that. And whether they understand it right now, I don't know. But that's okay. Because there's been a lot of things that were put in my life, and at the time I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how it applied to me. Hell, a prison sentence. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how that applied to me. Now I very well know what that was. God was sparing me. He was sparing me from myself. He was sparing me from my environment. He was sparing me from the people that were in charge of raising me. He put me out harm's way. That's not methodical. That's faith. So if you want to have the perfect day, just give yourself some time, some space, and let your conscience, let your spirit, let those things talk to you, versus trying to write down the X and O's on paper like it's some type of football game. And then just simply go into it and watch the outcome.